What is going on, people? I hope all is good, and I am back with another video as promised. Today I want to talk about communication and teamwork. So communication, in my opinion, is probably the most important skill of a good player, because just knowing how to communicate well can turn an otherwise poor player into a major threat to the other team. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of everything, I want to chat about what I think is the most important overall aspect of teamwork, and that is morale. So obviously morale can be positive or negative, and it's something which is going to affect the whole team. So if something bad happens in a game, a team that responds to that calmly and confidently is way more likely to regain control, whereas a team compared to a team that just gets angry or start blaming each other. So poor morale is going to lead to more mistakes, like mindlessly charging the guy who last killed you. So if something bad happens in a game, like if you get out BR'd or out DMR'd when you shouldn't have, then remain focused, remain positive, just shake that incident off and move on. You're not Rambo, you're not going to win you're not going to kill everyone, you're not going to win every single battle, so just laugh it off and move on. So it's way more important to remain positive, because honestly all it takes for team morale to go up or down is that one player, just one player or one incident. So remember, guys, always compliment good plays by your teammates. So if they give you a good call out, if they assist you in a kill, let them know, make sure you let them know. And obviously at the same time, don't be negative. Don't start blaming your teammates or getting angry at them, or the worst thing, don't go silent, don't turn into a mute. Remember, guys, it's way harder to beat a team with high morale, because you've got to beat them for the whole game, whereas a team with low morale, as soon as you break them, that's it, game over. They're not going to be at their best anymore, and it's going to be easy for you. So remember, guys, be positive, not just your KD. So if we go into the specifics of communication, I think the first thing we should really address is the whole thing about callouts. Now, what is a callout? Callouts are basically, they're just simply names of locations on a map, and the whole point of them is that you can quickly share awareness of enemy locations on the map with your teammates, so that you can kill them off quicker. Now, when you make a callout, you want to give as much information as possible in as few words as possible. And the way to get the best response when you make a callout is to assign a callout to your teammate who you think is in the best position to help you out. Now, try to get out the habit, guys, of making simple callouts like, for example, one guy red street, because that's not always the best thing, or the most effective way of making the callout. The best way to do it, or what I think is a good way to do it, is you want to call out a teammate who you think can help you out, and let them know the location of the enemy, how many shots you have landed on them, and also if they have any power weapons that you know of, and where he's going. So for example, let's say I'm on Haven, and we'll say I'd call out a teammate's name. I'd say one shot with sword, red street going Mohawk, and if I can, I'd also say the enemy's name as well. So that's what I think is a very good way of calling out enemy locations. Now, being aware of teammates' locations is a skill in itself, and that really needs some developing as well. A good technique, I think, that will help with knowing where your teammates are is calling out what you can see, and what your teammates should also be calling out what they're looking at. So for example, if you're in bottom Mohawk and you hear watching bottom mid, and you have a teammate in bottom open, then you know what kind of angles that guy has, and whether or not he can help you. So remember, guys, basically with callouts you want to be specific with them, and also work on teammate awareness. Now when it comes to power weapons and power-ups, by the way, this only really applies to MLG game types, as the pickups are on a set timer as opposed to random timers like matchmaking. So getting the timing down is obviously very important. Most pickups are set at, I think, 2-minute spawn cycles, so if you pick up a weapon or a power-up, that and you should let your teammates know that you have it and the time that is next going to spawn. So for example, if I say, let's say if I have overshield and I pick it up at 10:42 on the game clock, I'll definitely make sure that I say next overshield 8:42, and I'll make sure I repeat that a few times so that everyone understands or gets it. Also, when you know that a power weapon is dropping or a power up is dropping soon, make sure that you let your teammates know So for example, let's say something like rockets in 20 seconds, who's getting them? The whole point of asking who's getting them is to make sure that you get a response, so that you know your team's gonna go for the rockets or whatever it is in your case. So if you get no response, then you know that problem hasn't been addressed and you got to take care of it. So as I mentioned before, when you make a call out for a power weapon, don't forget that if you don't get it, then make sure you call out that the enemy team gets it, or whatever time they have it, if you can. Also, in general with call outs, make sure you respond to them, and don't go around ignoring them, because what's the point of a call out if no one's paying attention to it? You have to learn to process. At the end of the day, you've got to learn to process and respond to call outs in between making your own, and that's not an easy thing to do in a fast-paced game like Halo, but obviously it's a crucial skill to develop. Okay guys, so the last thing I want to talk about is what we call small talk. Now, small talk is when you have two players working towards the same immediate goal. So you can think of it like a mini conversation where the two players are sharing a lot of information with each other, and obviously that's going to be very hard to do for the entirety of the game. So whenever opportunity comes about when you guys can use small talk, you guys should definitely go ahead and do that. So I think the best way for me to describe it in detail is to run through some examples with you guys. So we'll start off with the baiting and switching example. So what baiting and switching basically means is, say I'm in a situation where I'm in a one-on-one with an opponent. My sole purpose is just to weaken that opponent, so all I'm going to do is take maybe 2 or 3 shots on the guy and then run off into cover. So I'm now becoming the bait for my opponent, because he thinks he has the upper hand on me, so he might charge me. If he does that, or even if he stays in the same place, it doesn't really matter. As soon as I go into cover, my teammate, who my opponent is totally unaware of, he will then pop out and then finish the kill, which should be easy because he's already 2 or 3 shots down. So that's baiting and switching. Another great example of small talk is when you guys use it when you want to time your pushes. And what I mean by that is, say I know one of my teammates is going to push into an enemy base and he's most likely going to get into into a fight. Then I might say something like, wait, to my teammate, I'll be there in 2 or 3 seconds, and then that way you guys can make a push together. Another great example is to state your intentions. So a perfect way, a perfect example of this is, say somebody needs to return the flag, or somebody needs to get in the hill or hold the ball. You can avoid a lot of wasteful play by simply saying, I've got the return, or I've got the ball, or I've got the hill. Small examples might be, when you want to get a flank on an opponent or pinch them, you might say something like, you go left and I'll go right. That'll make a big difference. And another example when it comes to team awareness is, say you're with a teammate, or you can see a teammate, you definitely want to let them know. So just say something like, I've got help, or I'm with you. That way your teammate will know whether or not he can make a push, because he'll know you've got their back. Lastly, an example of small talk mainly for objective game types is to count your kills. So what I mean by counting your kills is, as soon as you or someone in your team gets a kill, they should say 1 down, and any kill earned after that, within a 10-second window, we should be followed by 2 down or 3 down, and that way you know straight away how many of the enemy guys are alive, how many of them are dead. Because obviously in objective games, you're going to play the objective mainly when most of the opponent team is dead, or majority of them are dead. That's when you can play the objective. So just by saying, just by counting your kills, you'll know straight away when to make that push. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that short tutorial on teamwork and communication. Hope you guys learned something from it, and remember, everything takes practice. Take it in steps, and in time you'll be communicating like a pro. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you all later. Peace.